All right, ready for a deep dive into something pretty wild? We're talking OpenAI's new project, Swarm.
And no, it's not about those robot dogs anymore. This is even more sci-fi, in a way.
Yeah, forget robot dogs. We're talking robot teams.
Kind of, yeah. It's about AI agents working together, like really collaborating, not just side by side.
Okay, so less like my kitchen when everyone's trying to cook at once, and more
Uh-huh.
like, what, a well-drilled team?
Exactly. Like those nature documentaries with the ants building those crazy huge mounds. Each one have a job and somehow it works. That's what OpenAI is going for.
Okay, I'm intrigued, but also a little terrified.
Yeah.
We've got this Dona AI video that breaks it all down, but where do you even start with something this complex?
Well, the surprising thing is the basic ideas in Swarm are pretty simple. They have these things called routines and handoffs, which honestly are just fancy terms for things we do every day.
Okay, so less robot uprising, more organizing my sock drawer. I'm not seeing the connection.
Not quite. Think of it this way. A routine is basically like a to-do list for an AI agent. It tells it exactly what to do, step by step.
So if I had a super organized AI, its routine would be make coffee, walk the dog, write a novel, that kind of thing.
More like, analyze this data, generate 3 options, send a report. It's more about task management for complex tasks.
Okay, makes sense. But what about those handoffs? Does that mean my AI assistant is literally passing a note to another AI?
It's the AI version of that, yeah. So imagine you call customer service and they transfer you to the billing department. That's a handoff. Swarm lets AI agents do that smoothly.
Interesting. So if one AI agent is getting overwhelmed, it can be like, hold on, let me find someone who actually knows about this.
Exactly. It makes the whole system more efficient, more specialized.
Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. So how does Dona AI show this working in the real world? Like, what kind of examples are they using? So they're not just talking about handing off, like, what's the weather? It's bigger than that.
Oh yeah, they get into some really cool scenarios. They use the example of an airline chatbot, which, let's be real, we've all needed at some point.
Don't get me started on airline chatbots. Last time I tried to use one, it just kept telling me to check my flight status, like I hadn't already done that 100 times.
Right, but imagine if those chatbots were actually powered by Swarm. So you'd have like a triage agent that first figures out what you need.
So instead of getting stuck in a loop, it actually understands I'm trying to reschedule my flight because they've delayed it for the 5th time.
Exactly. And once that triage agent knows you need to reschedule, it can do a handoff to a specialized agent that handles flight changes.
Wait, so there are like specialist AI agents, each one with its own little area of expertise.
Precisely. So you've got your triage agent, your flight change agent, maybe even a lost baggage agent, all working together.
It's like an AI call center, except hopefully way less soul-crushing hold music.
Less hold music, more efficiency. And Dona AI emphasizes that these agents don't just forget about you once you're transferred either.
Good, because I'm really tired of repeating my life story every time I talk to a new person, or in this case, a new AI.
Right. That's where those context variables come in, is how the AI remembers who you are and what you're trying to do.
So it's like when I call back for the 5th time about the same issue and the agent can actually see my call history, no more starting from scratch every time.
Exactly. Context variables make the whole interaction feel more natural, more human, even though it's all happening behind the scenes with AI.
Okay, that's pretty slick. So we've got routines telling the AI what to do, handoffs passing us between specialists, and context variables to keep track of it all. It's like a well-oiled AI machine. But Dona AI did mention this is still experimental. So how far away are we from actually seeing Swarm in action? Like, are we going to be booking our flights and ordering pizza with AI swarms anytime soon? So are we all about to have our own personal AI army? Or is this more of a check back in a decade kind of thing?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. Dona AI actually brought up something really interesting. They were talking about whether OpenAI might integrate Swarm into their API.
Hold on, their API. So not just keeping it to themselves, but letting other people build with it.
Exactly. It's one thing to have OpenAI experimenting with this, but if they open it up, that could be huge for developers.
Okay, yeah, suddenly I'm imagining all sorts of things. Like, instead of just one AI assistant, you've got a whole team working for you.
And not just a team, but specialists.
Yeah.
Like, imagine an AI agent that's amazing at research, handing off its findings to an agent that's a writing whiz.
Whoa, that's next level stuff. Forget writing emails. I'm talking about writing books with this thing.
See, that's what Dona AI wants us to think about.
Yeah.
What could you do with a swarm of AI, each with its own skill?
Okay, now my head is spinning. But honestly, it's a little intimidating too, right? Like, What happens if things go wrong with this kind of AI teamwork?
It's definitely something to consider. Dona AI talks about how Swarm is open source, which is great for innovation, but it also means we need to be extra careful. More people involved means more chances for things to, go off script.
It's like that old saying, with great power.
Comes great responsibility. Yeah, that about sums it up. And that's why we're having this conversation, right? We got to think about the implications now while things are still in the early stages.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm even more fascinated by Swarm now. Might not be ordering pizza with an AI army just yet, but it feels like we're getting closer to some seriously futuristic stuff.
No doubt about it. And the best part is, this is just the beginning. Who knows what amazing and maybe slightly terrifying things people will come up with as they start exploring Swarm.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into OpenAI Swarm. Definitely a lot to process, but as always, the biggest takeaway is stay curious.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Keep asking questions, keep exploring, and who knows, maybe one of you listening will be the one to build the next big thing in AI.
Now that's a thought to leave you with. And if you want to do your own deep dive into Swarm, check out Donna AI's video, the link's in the show notes. Until next time, keep those AI dreams alive.